If you've been wanting to use AI but not sure where to start, I'm going to give you a tour of several AI platforms to get you started, starting from the beginning. So today we're going to start with ChatGPT. We'll get there by going to chatgpt.com, like so. Just type that up here in the top of your browser and press enter. You actually don't need a login to start, but it is helpful to go to the top right corner and just sign in with a Google account or create an account. It opens up a few features for free. So what can you do with ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT is artificial intelligence, and you can get a lot of your question answered in a conversation form, which makes it different from Google. So I'm going to give 4 examples of prompts that you can use here. One thing you need to know is it's a continuing conversation, so you can refer to items that you talked about earlier. First thing I want to discuss is, let's say I'm trying to email a friend or a client with some bad news, and I don't know how to word it. I could say something like, help me write an email to a client letting them know we will miss the deadline. And it's going to help me craft this email. Now, as you can see, it's completed the email. It's given you some things that you need to fill in yourself. But if you don't like it, you're not stuck with it. Now, 2 things happen here. 1, you don't have to use it as is. You can take it, copy and paste it, edit it. Or 2, you can ask it to make some updates. So I might say, make that more concise and use a business casual tone. And then it'll reframe it. And then it's actually, in this case, giving me 2 different options. So you can choose. You're basically teaching it which style you like better. So now I'm saying, okay, I prefer this response, and it'll make responses more like that. Now, one last thing I want to change. Let's say my client is in Argentina, and the email needs to be in Spanish. So maybe you want to write this in Spanish, but your Spanish is not perfect, or you just don't know professional Spanish. I might say, please write that in Argentinian. Yeah, spell it right. Spanish business professional. And boom, it is going to give you this email in Spanish. Just make sure that you fill in the blanks with actual information, and you can continue this conversation with ChatGPT. Big mistake I see a lot of people make. They will copy and paste this as is, and at the top it is giving you something like, hey, here's a Spanish version of this. You don't want to put that in the actual email. And at the bottom, it's going to say, let me know if you need any additional adjustments. That's one example. A second example that I want to give is, I have a 4-year-old son, love him. We do tons of stories. We buy lots of books, but I can also make a custom story here. So I might say something like, write me a children's story for a 4-year-old boy. Now, the key with prompts is the more details and more specific you are, the better. This is a generic prompt. I'm going to roll with it as an example, but then we'll revisit. Now, this has provided me with a pretty good children's story here about the adventures of Max and the flying red balloon. What's cool is I could read my child this story as is, or I can add details. Maybe I want to use something that my child is interested in, right? So I can just adjust the story, and I can say change the name from Max to I don't know, Johnny, right? If your kid's name is Johnny and now they're in the story, and it would make the same story with Johnny. Or the better option is to give it more details. So I might say, write a story about my son's really into dinosaurs. So I might say, a group of dinosaurs, write a children's story about a group of dinosaurs running away from an erupting volcano. One of the dinosaurs is a triceratops named Timmy. And is going to craft a children's story based on the prompt that I gave it. Now, this is, again, an excellent story. And what you can do is you can involve your child in it. Say, hey, give me 3 details. Give me an animal, give me a place, give me a location, and have ChatGPT craft you the story. It's beautiful to get them engaged in the process. Now, another great example you can use for ChatGPT is maybe you're getting ready for an interview, either you're the interviewee or maybe you're interviewing for a job, and you want to run through some practice. So a couple of good prompts you can use here. One of them would be something like, maybe you're the interviewer. You're like, give me a few good interview. I'm not even going to spell it right because it'll pick it up. And I made a mistake. Interview questions as I prepare to interview a potential new employee. And it's going to give me a few good interview questions. Now, that was a very general prompt. So I could ask for something more specific, maybe about a specific field, or I want to go in a certain direction, like I'm talking about computer technology or conflict resolution or whatever. I can get more specific about it. So now notice how many, and I can say, give me a certain amount, give me 10 or 15, or give me certain topics. It's going to run through these for me. Super helpful. Now, this is great because it's giving me 18 questions in this case that if I'm interviewing someone, I can take the ones that I like and use these in my upcoming interview. Now, let's flip it and say I'm about to do an interview for a job that I'm applying for that I hope to get. I might say something like, can we role play an interview for my upcoming let's say it's going to be an attorney assistant, I don't know that's a thing, job. And I'm just going to say question mark. Asking it if it can do something. And now it's giving me, hey, it's giving me the interviews question, and I'll say, let's start telling you. I'm fresh out of college and excited to start my career in law. And so see how it's taking my response and it's helping me refine it. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I can run through a whole interview and really help myself prepare and ask ChatGPT to critique my responses and help me to improve my responses. So I can continue going on through this interview. Another example is, let's say that I'm working on a document, like a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm trying to do a calculation, but I don't know how to do it. I might, and there's a bunch of formulas and stuff in Excel and Google Sheets, but maybe I just don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. So I might say, help me find a formula that will combine the contents of column A and column B in my Excel sheet. Walk me through how to do it, as I'm not experienced with spreadsheets. Or if you are experienced, you might say, just give me basics. And now it's walking me through step by step. And notice it's giving me step-by-step instructions. I can even copy the code for my formula and put that in Google Sheets or put that in Excel. So this is really helping me to do what I need to do. And the more details I give it, the better its responses are going to be. Now, two more things I'll show you that can be done, but we'll revisit them in another video as this is becoming a long video. Notice there's a little attachment button here. You could actually take a Word document or a file and say, hey, summarize this, or critique my resume, or what have you, so you can attach files on here. Another thing you can do is if you have a transcript of something, maybe a lecture, you can paste that transcript in here and have it give you a summary. So I'll revisit that, but notice that this is all free. We didn't pay anything. You can upgrade your plan for more access and more features, but the basic free plan of ChatGPT is going to give you a lot that you can do. And again, the key with ChatGPT is the more specific your prompts are, the better your responses will be. So we will visit other types of AI and other videos. We'll spend more time on ChatGPT, but this is an introduction for you. Hope it was helpful. If this has brought value for you, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and have an excellent rest of your day.